pick, counter pick shenanigans from Gen G after that. And at the moment, I mean, Gen G, they look like they're back in form. And unless T1 can prove that they can actually go toe-to-toe with this team in game number 2 here, it might just be Gen G taking this Saturday showdown.
Yeah, we've had so many 2-0s recently. It's kind of been the theme, just 2-0s on repeat. We haven't had a single 6-game day yet this season. But if there's any series I'm hoping goes to 3, it's this one. Gen G now on first pick side will ban the Bard again. I feel like they have a lot more freedom to do so on this side. It is Vi banned by T1 here. There's still the likes of Lucian, Jarvan, and Karma open that were banned last time. So see if any of those get through. Lucian ban comes in, especially if you're trying to prioritize the Jarvan. I think that's a lot of value. Obviously, one of those AD carries who can get out the Cataclysm. Ezreal's already gone. So I think Gen G could be leaning towards a Jarvan first pick. Will T1 ban it, or will they go for the Karma instead?
I'd say, I think you need to take Karma away. I think she's just too strong, especially with, you know, game 2 coming along and some options for the bottom lane taken away. You still have Caitlyn and Jhin available for Karma lanes. They're going to disagree with me and go for the Jarvan ban. So we'll see how that works out for them.
It's going to be a tricky lane, most likely, but this obviously alleviates some of the pressure in team fights and also just the pressure of the Jarvan, particularly in ganking bot lane where there's a mobile picks there. Cataclysm so effective, so the assumption is Gen G prioritize the Karma here, and they will do so. As you said, a lot of pairings are still good. You don't get Ezreal Karma, but you can have Kate Karma, Jhin Karma. And the question is, what will T1 look to answer that with? With obviously the Lulu being taken out. You know, Nico is a pick that we saw Karma often picked as a counter into. Gives a lot of trouble in lane. Carriers, Nico's been pretty excellent, but it does make that option a bit tricky. You could go maybe like Caitlyn Lux here into it. Obviously denies the Caitlyn pairing with the Karma. It's probably going to be like Caitlyn Lux into Jhin Karma, I would assume. There are other pairings you can do with the Caitlyn though. That one seems like a bit of a classic for Keria.
Yeah, a lot of thought going into this. I feel like Keria, you know, it's about time to pull out one of his picks and try to warp the game around him. He played Lulu in game 1. He played it well, but it's Lulu. Not going to pick it just yet, actually. Going to go ahead and take the Lee Sin first.
Yeah, go on the Lee Sin, which, you know, Lee Sin can pair up well with a lot of the supports that pair up with Caitlyn. You want a CC setup support to go with the Caitlyn, and that also helps out the Lee Sin. That being said, we've seen so often like Annie, Lee Sin be really strong, and I feel like you have to pick the support with Caitlyn here, which means you won't be able to pick the Annie to pair up with the Lee Sin. Don't have the opportunity. It is just going to be Jhin Karma, no real surprise there. And then, what does Gen G opt to prioritize here? Are they going to match in the jungle? They hover the Lux. I think they know what T1 is expected to pick in this situation.
Maybe it's a little too obvious. Maybe we get something else. But, yeah. Gen G know it. Everybody knows it.
Maybe the Pantheon could come through. Actually going to go for the Scion here instead for Keen. Expecting that, you know, with the likeliness that T1 just pick Lux here, or even if it's not Lux, then probably Annie. I feel like T1 don't really have the space to pick a top laner into the Scion right now, so they feel like they could just take that pretty freely and have that big bulky front line. I expect it to be the Lux, but it's Keria. You can always go in a bit of a different direction.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, we could have seen a whole host of different things, but they do want to go for the premium duo with the Caitlyn and the Lux.
Yeah.
Which means no Annie.
So I imagine they should just trim down the jungle pool. Because I think Gen G is probably going to ban Annie. You know, if you were able to guarantee the Annie, then you'd probably ban Aurora, but I think it'd just be a wasted ban here because Gen G will just ban Annie themselves. And also, maybe like the Rise as well is good for T1. So maybe Gen G go like Rise Annie bans, I think would make a good amount of sense. That being said, there's still a lot of picks for Chovy that are good into Rise. So perhaps you're fine with them taking it, as Chovy can go for the likes of Anivia or Cassiopeia, especially as you've already got the Scion there, so you don't necessarily need to save Keen's pick till later. Although I guess you pick on the same rotation for Genji. Gwen comes through, so just protecting the Sion right now and banning some things away from Doran. I do still think the Annie ban would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout. Maybe Chovy says, well, I can handle a Rise, so maybe we take away the Annie and the Gwen.
Yeah.
But Gwen, definitely a common answer into Sion if the Sion gets blinded. I don't feel like it's had a ton of success. There's the Cassiopeia ban, so they say, well, we're looking to play some Rise here.
I feel like the Cassiopeia ban is pretty good, even if you expect the Rise. Yeah. The thing is, for T1, they also have last pick, so they could pick that top lane on 4 and then go the Rise last, but I wouldn't put it past Chovy just to pick Anivia, just in a preventative sense. I think the Annie ban makes a lot of sense here. Could also ban the Rise, but we've seen Chovy play that Anivia so many times before. They do go for the Rise ban here, which I think is a bit of a surprise to me.
See a banned a decent amount into Faker, so maybe some respect shown there as well, but should maybe be that Annie Lee Sin combo, but gonna get the top laner here to deal with Sion.
Yeah, considering the options, obviously, just gonna go for the Ornn. I was thinking if you wanted a bit more pressure, you know, there is picks like the Gnar available, but just gonna match tank for tank. And honestly, with the ornaments being able to be given out to your teammates, even a bit of extra scaling there. And now Genji. Is this scenario where Chovy just denies the Annie himself? Could he just go the Aurora expecting the Annie? Could he even just go
Annie Wukong?
Annie Wukong's really strong. And it denies that Annie away from Faker. I think it's pretty heads up to take it away.
We've seen Graves hovered so much. We have not seen
such a canyon pick to take this, though. I think Annie Wukong is what we'd expect, and they do go through with it. This was kind of the duo that ran the Legend Rise groups. Rise group in particular, but both groups saw a lot of success from this last year. They will commit to this, and now what is Faker going to take? Ideally, I mean, Aurora is what you typically expect into Annie, but instead looking towards the Anivia. Anivia, I feel like, very good into Sion at disrupting him. I feel like it's so hard to teamfight on Sion well into an Anivia. It gives this composition a ton of control. The setup for the Lee Sin is not as reliable as a point-and-click stun on the Annie, but still pretty good. I think the matchup is pretty good into Annie as well, so for T1, a lot of control in their composition. They want to get set up on an objective early. They have the Caitlyn traps, they have the Anivia wall, they have layered CC with the follow-up from the traps of the Lee Sin. But for Genji, they have that movement speed, the Annie Wukong combo to engage, and then you just have the Jhin ult to follow up. That being said, Doran potentially can block those. I think T1 should be pretty happy with what they've got, but Genji definitely have some solid responses, and it really comes down to... I feel like a lot of it's going to come down to the bot lane 2v2, which jungler can make an impact there, because expect to see it pretty close.
It says into the tiger's mouth. That is exactly what we're seeing here.
So sad. So devastated. As you'd imagine. Well, that kind of felt like how game 1 went, but a chance in game 2 to bounce back. And I think the tools that they really need. You know, Kerry on his classic locks, we've seen him time and time again, that playmaking potential, and has the setup for the rest of the team. You land one bit of CC, and you know it's going to be layered, there's going to be more CC to follow. It's going to be quite hard, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fun here for game number 2. As we're ready, let's hop onto the Rift. Here we go. Game number 2 of match 6-7. And, of course, Saturday's Showdown, very deserving of such an honor to be match number 6-7.
You think they planned it?
What?
You think they planned it?
Yes.
They're like T1 vs Genji, Saturday Showdown. We'll just ensure that it's a specific match number.
Definitely. Yeah, all plans. I just hope it's not a 2-0. You know, we almost had the full 2-0 week last week. And then KMDRX won a game against Hamalife Esport
that's
at their homestand. And That was good. That was good, but we almost got, you know, a full only 20 matches, or games rather. We've already had one best of 3 go 3. That was also QMDRX against KT. As Faker does this very often with his Anivia, plays ultra aggressive and utilizes the egg as kind of a second health bar. His heal's going to be used here just to get away from the binding. As in goes Faker, gonna get the flash out of Jovi.
Yeah, Jovi, oh.
Ooh, binding is going to sail wide into the mid.
That was close. That could have just been a kill on the back of that. You can see Carrier and Paige doing a pretty good job already of having the pressure here. This is a matchup where the Karma and the Jhin could definitely fight back, but Carrier's just been so clean, dodging away from the Qs from the Karma. I feel like it's one of those things where the skill shots of both, I mean, the main thing is the E from the Lux and the Q from the Karma are so easy to land, but if you dodge them, the opposition can just get so much pressure in return. And Carrier's been doing a pretty good job of that. Ruler also going cleanse.
One wall could kill Jovi here as the stun comes in, and there's the Sonic Wave. One stun into Owners, not going to stop the Lee Sin, and First Blood set up very nicely in mid lane.
Beautifully set up by Faker, not just on this wall and stun here, but also binning the flash earlier allows Owner to make his way in and clean up this kill. So good start here for the mid jungle of T1. Yeah, as I was saying, Ruler going the cleanse here, not as much power in the trades. But we'll be able to get him out of the CC later if needed. That wall, Jovi's pathing looked so weird there. Not sure quite what happened there. It looked like he was trying to... His character was trying to decide which way to go.
Yeah, it almost looked like he got stuck in the wall for a moment.
Yeah, like he got frozen. Which would thematically make sense.
Yeah.
Typically, though, Fire type good against Ice type.
Do you think Anivia ever thinks of herself as like a Elsa type?
Yes.
You've seen Frozen, right?
Yes, I've seen Frozen.
Have you seen Frozen 2?
Actually, no, I haven't.
What?
You've seen Frozen 2?
Yeah. I think I even saw it in theaters.
Whoa. Okay, you got a bit of a super fan over here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
no,
not
I
even
see how it is.
into it.
Who's your favorite character?
Olaf. I don't know. I'm kind of
like Olaf from League of Legends.
I'm pretty basic when it comes to like favorite characters. I don't know. I don't have to go for like the big brain bass guy, you know, where it's like, yeah, if you like him, you're really cool. I don't know. I just like the funny little snowman.
No, I'm okay with that. You're okay to like the funny little snowman in my books, Brendan.
So apparently, Jisun hasn't watched Frozen at all. OMG.
Wow.
But her English name was once Anna?
You know what's crazy is that Wadid was saying the other day he'd never seen Cars. I was like, come on.
No, that was me.
Wait, you've never seen Cars?
Yeah, we had this discussion on
I was like, you know what? I was in such disbelief that I was like, no way, it couldn't have been Brendan. Yeah, no, that's crazy. You've seen Frozen 2 and you haven't seen Cars? Come on, Brendan.
You know, my son, he's about 18 months old. He just got a Cars t-shirt. It's got Lightning McQueen on it. I know his name now.
Oh, you've learned his name because of the t-shirt?
Yeah. Wow. Well, first from you telling me his name, and then I saw it. I'm like, yeah, you know, that's him. That's the real name. It's a very cute t-shirt.
I'm sure.
Big fan.
Well, if you're a big fan, then you would have watched the film, but, you know. Been pretty slow early game so far, other than that one kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, so Jisun also hasn't watched Cars.
Okay.
Maybe Cars isn't as prolific as you imagined. Maybe not everybody has seen Cars.
I think most people.
I don't think so.
Jovi going to drop Tibbers here. And Faker pretty low. No egg, remember?
Yeah. He's still going to get away, though.
It just came up now, so now he does have egg. Bit of safety there. Dragon up and available, but it is Hex Tech, which I always feel like you see the Hex Tech Dragon, you're like, well, no Hex Tech Soul. Bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Actually, Faker go on the Electrocute. We've seen some... I feel like we saw a little bit of Deathfire Touch first with Anivia when it came out, and then we saw the move back to Electrocute. Chovy does have the Electrocute, though. Sorry, the Deathfire Touch, so Planet has been... You know what I find really difficult is we have Deathfire Touch and Blackfire Torch, and they're both burn things. And I keep second-guessing which one it is. which one I'm saying.
I have not heard you say it incorrectly yet, so.
But I think every time I
kind of...
say it, I'm like, was that the right way? Is it Blackfire Touch and Deathfire Torch?
No.
Well,
it's not. So your second guessing is working.
Okay.
You're doing a great job, Box.
Thank you.
As your iced tea said, you know, you're going to get a lot of compliments today.
Wow, it's coming true.
So I'm trying to make it happen. Yeah, are we just going back to tank versus tank in the top lane? I don't think so, but...
I mean, Sion's been super successful so far in the LCK. His win rate's great, and I feel like he's just such a brick wall against so many teams. But a lot of the times we see him, it's like Jason to Sion. Here, I feel like you're actually just matching that scaling tank in the top lane in kind. Oh, Carrier doesn't...
Flash, and he lands it. Gonna get the cleanse out of Ruler.
Yeah, I think
already.
He was definitely hoping to get Duro there. I think more threat onto the Karma without cleanse, but we'll burn that summoner.
So we have a picture of Chronicler guy in chat saying they should fire these guys, so unprofessional.
Ironic from the guy who was fired.
The guy who's not here anymore?
Yeah. Interesting he would say that.
Getting heckled from the guy who doesn't even live in Korea anymore.
Yeah, that's how determined he was to get off the broadcast. He just left the continent.
Yeah. Trying to set up something here on a Chovy. I mean, they might be able to get his flash, but I wouldn't imagine they get much else.
Yeah, flash burn there.
Oh.
Doran using the flash to try and catch him off guard. Ono might be in trouble.
Yeah, just going to face check straight into Canyon, and Duro. Kick does come out as the binding not quite going to land, and Carrier might have to pay for the sins of Owner.
I feel like that's so rough for Carrier. You come over to help your jungler, and you just get a Wukong kicked into your face. Thanks for that one, buddy.
And now, I mean, Keen is here. He's not a brick wall yet. He's still Sion, but gonna flash into Owner, looking for the kill in the 1v3. No wall just yet. Owner getting pretty low, and I think eventually Keen will just die. As Chovy does come over, he takes a look, and he's like, yeah, you're dead. Sorry, buddy.
Keen could have just gotten out there. He could have just gone for the flash ult away. Once the wall is down for the Anivia, for sure, you could have looked for that angle. Instead, goes for the kill and just isn't able to find it. This is kind of what I was talking about. Anivia makes Sion's life so miserable. And T1 starting off with an early lead here, winning both solo lane summoners as well, which allows them to potentially look for some setup a bit later on. We've seen bot lane, FaZe and Carrier are the ones with the advantage in this matchup. I feel like the Jhin Karma has the tools to really contest this, but I think FaZe Carrier just kind of outplaying in the 2v2 so far, getting a ton of plates as well. About a 15 CS lead. And you see the pressure mounting up. In the meantime, Canyon is just doing these grubs. Ona have to heal up off the grub before he can come over, but they're gone by the time he gets there.
Yeah. Just watching Canyon playing Wukong. Gonna have to hold that thought as here comes Carrier on the flank, and Ruler does not have his cleanse anymore. He does have flash. They're looking maybe for Duro here, as Carrier really holding his binding until the last moment, as the flash is good from Duro. But still a good play set up from Carrier to get that flash.
You can see him trying to read it and was pretty close with the prediction. In the end, Duro flashing at a bit of a sharper angle, able to get away. The danger if you get hit by this binding is very relevant. I think Duro's probably going towards Mikhail's first just to try and prevent that.
Chovy just gonna find Owner in the jungle. Owner's like, okay, I'm Lee Sin, I jump to my bird.
This is a pretty good read because Ona actually had a Sonic Wave on the red buff.
Uh-oh. Carrier's in a lot of trouble. No flash, no heal against a Wukong.
And now FaZe could be in a lot of trouble as well. They even have Tibbers to tank here.
Yeah, and the Jhin ultimate. I mean, FaZe, he's got double summoners. I don't think he's going to use either of them. He might as well just take it, and that is going to be Canyon picking up a third kill on the Wukong. Wukong, not a pick we see super often, but every once in a while you get these Wukong games where they just take over.
Yeah, so we see Ona retreating, not wanting to follow the Sonic Wave to his red buff, as he expected the aggression here from the rest of Gen G, Canyon being there. Then Carrier just steps too far, gets caught out, the root from Ruler's great, and then here you just knew FaZe was dead. FaZe knew he was dead, all of Gen G knew he was dead. Tries to outplay, but there's just not much you can do against the point-and-click CC combined with the Jhin ult and the Wukong to clean up. It's still actually a minor gold lead for T1, but a lot of kills onto this Wukong, making Canyon a very real threat right now.
Yeah, going to be very important, especially, you know, Owner got that first blood and was able to have a good impact very early on in the game, but the Wukong hits level 6, and all of a sudden, Canyon is on the map. He's picking up objectives again, got that early Drake, the 3 grubs. Now, Owner trying to make that Lee Sin work for him as he is down in the bottom lane. We got a TP coming in as Owner does go pretty deep on this one. We'll get rooted up, but we got 5 members of T1 here. 4 members of Gen G, though, as they look for the kick. Just going to kick the clone to the side, and now Doran is in a rough spot. The Sonic Wave is going to land, though, as that is a kill going over to Owner. As we do have Ruler at least picking up one. Nice binding here on a Chovy as Owner goes very deep for that one, but certainly going to enjoy that as Ruler desperately trying to clear this wave. And I think eventually will just die, gets bound up, and that is going to be the end of him. Even get the kill over to Pace.
This felt very scrappy from T1, and for a moment I really thought it was going to go pear-shaped, but they're able to clean up the play, clean up the kills, and get a pretty significant advantage on the back of that play. Let's talk about the things that didn't go so great. Owner goes for a kick onto Canyon in a little bit and ends up getting the clone. Even though we get this initial combo from Doran, there isn't really the backup from the rest of T1. There's the clone kick. The ult can't get changed because Doran was rooted, and Ruler flashes in to clean him up. But despite that, there's numbers advantage still for T1. The 1 CC hits onto Chovy, the follow-up is there, and Canyon kind of gives up on the play when it's 4 against 2. Ruler, there's just no way you can really go in this situation. Holds the cleanse as well, kind of just knows he's dead. And in the top side, we saw Keen getting some good farm in return, but it just doesn't really feel worth it for the advantages T1 got on the bot side.
Yeah, I mean, a Scion getting a little bit more farm in between turrets is like whatever. And you're really going to enjoy that extra gold on the Pays. We do have this Drake about to spawn. Does look like T1 wants to not get double dragoned this time. So they've got a decent amount of setup, but there's a couple of deep wards and TP available for Keen, so Gen G could certainly look for some kind of set play here if they find an angle. I mean, it's still a very close game at this point in time as Ruler going to walk straight into the enemy team and just die. Thought he was safe with the Karma. He absolutely was not.
Yeah, no flash available. Owner very decisive with the play. Doesn't feel the need to kick him towards his team. Kicking to the side doesn't matter. It sets up the Sonic Wave and sets up the kill. And now should just be Dragon for T1. Gen G posturing like they might contest, but it's a 4v5. Not the easiest to go for.
And you saw Jonas Strong. He's like, well, there is a Wukong down here. But that's about all we have to say about that. As it is Chemtech Soul, by the way. So T1 do get the Drake, but not going to be the highest value. Might not see some gigantic plays over it as Canyon is still down here. Doran very tanky. Now Keen is here.
Yeah, Owner and Kerry are moving to cover in this situation. Doran about half HP, but is quite tanky.
Just going to try to clear the wave, it looks like, and they get the knockup on the Scion. And, well, the wave is cleared. So their goal at the end of the day is secured.
Yeah, and Fake against some alone time in the top lane in return. So I'll need to answer that. Canyon looking for Pays, but Pays backs off pretty much at the perfect time.
Yeah, that's going to force the TP from Chovy into the top lane as...
Oh, a little bit mistimed there by Faker. I feel like that's one thing, is that everyone kind of learned the old TP timing, and even though the new TP's been out for a while, it definitely feels less predictable than the old TP.
Yeah, I feel like that's good. I don't know. Shouldn't just be like free food. Although punishing bad TPs is good. Doran is going to flash away, but the knockup eventually comes out from the Cyclone, and he will be going down. Nice little dive between the two members of Gen G.
Yeah, Doran was still low from the earlier play and sticks around. Or not the easiest target to die, but committing the Wukong ult early.
Oh, the binding, it's going to hit. Carrier just doesn't miss. His Owner goes in, and he goes out. The kill also does go over to Pace. Owner in a rough spot here, trying to get over the wall, but he's still going to die to Chovy as Carrier a little bit too passionate for driving, perhaps. So now he is on the run, and you'd have to imagine that eventually he just dies.
Oh, the Rocket Bell.
The Rocket Bell.
The Chovy classic, it feels like. I mean, is there a champion he wouldn't build Rocket Belt on? I don't know. We haven't found it. No, I think he would.
Unlike some others.
So yeah, this initial play set up by Carrier really effectively with the binding here onto Ruler. The follow-ups there, the kill comes in. But then Carrier goes for the Herald, and I think the right play would have been just to kill the tower, but instead he's looking for the knockup. And then he ends up taking that tower hit that's ramped up into so much damage. I think if he just hit the tower, it would have bounced him away. He had flash. I think he just lives.
And they kill the turret.
Sometimes, I mean, he got it anyway. The Herald charged the turret anyway, but I think sometimes you get a little bit too creative with the plays you're trying to set up, and we do see Carrier punished for it. Although now it's 3-1-2 for FaZe, a 2,000 gold lead between 80 carries. Caitlyn, Lux, obviously a strong 2v2, but the Jhin Karma also is. I feel like if you go in Jhin Karma and you've fallen this far behind, it is not a good feeling for Gen G.
Yeah, definitely not what they wanted to have happen when they prior pick the Karma, get a nice pairing for it immediately. Even, you know, seeing the Caitlyn Lux written in the draft. And Faker's just down here trying to push another turret. This is kind of what he does. Just playing a pushing champion, clearing waves, farming it up, trying to beat the team over. Gen G are like, well, we're just going to push the top wave. And we might be in for a little bit of a slower mid-game with this Chemtech Soul that does come in.
Yeah, I will say, you know, we often talk about the value of the Chemtech Soul. There is some bulky tops, so you're going to get a decent amount of value from it, but like the Karma shields with it are pretty nice, the Scion shields as well, but as she said, not the craziest value. Doran does get his
FaZe is trying to like dodge a train and a bus. Like
that was a good response from FaZe to stay safe there. Could have been dangerous. Would have been dangerous. Was dangerous. He would have just been dead.
Yeah.
Gets away from it though with a good flash. As I was saying, Doran getting his first ornament in, so expect to see those start getting passed out pretty soon. I mean, that's one thing with the XP boosting of top lane. Really nice for Ornn to get those levels sooner rather than later.
Yeah. You don't see Ornn all that often. You know, we just see so much Scion.
People always said, like, you know, when you get past level 18, the top lane, people are like, oh, imagine if you could get, like, you could skill up your abilities in additional time. Imagine if Ornn just got, like, started to get second round of ornaments. It's like you can give someone on your team a second ornament, how crazy that would be. Then that champion would be pin banned every single game.
I feel like we don't see a lot of games where we have our top laners actually hit level 20, though.
That's true.
So,
but I think the threat of it, I mean, to be fair, if you get to level 20 with an Ornn, I think you're doing pretty good anyway. I don't think it needs that. I think you have a point, but it would be crazy to see. Now, team setting up for this dragon. Canyon's already on it, and T1 are trying to push in. They don't have control initially of the area.
Keen's got a big shield, but he also has to deal with Anivia and traps and bindings and everything from T1. Like, he just doesn't get to play the game. As eventually the Timber's very nice here from Chovy, stopping that Ornn as the kick kind of helping the Scion. Chovy going to take a bit of damage, but this is going to be a Drake that goes to Gen G. And not much loss for it. The stun into Faker as he face checks. And now Canyon is in that backline. Pays super low, but he lives. Keen trying to get the kill on Scion. And he will be able to take out the Caitlyn. As now the Jhin ultimate rings true. And T1 on the run. The Roots is going to be denied. But they get the flash out of Doran, and Gen G turn up big again.
I think there's two sides to this. One is you saw how miserable it looked for Keen. Just being CC'd. Like, rooted in place, blocked by the wall, kicked around. All that punishment he took looked really uncomfortable, but he didn't die.
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing, is if you can go through all of this punishment, and look how much time T1 is committing to trying to take down Keen, and yeah, it doesn't look fun for him, but he still just lives on through all of this. It was a great ult by Chovy to stop the Ornn ult coming through. Keen goes back in. They actually kick him out. But they just really struggle to make headway in this fight. They get the dragon, and then Faker goes too aggressive. Chovy stuns him, instantly sent into the egg form. Canyon moves up through the fight. Keen still has a ton of health to work with.
Yeah.
Still a lot of effective HP, and the shield just keeps providing so much value. I think T1 spent so much time trying to cut through this front line, but realistically, FaZe, the Collector, and IE just didn't have the DPS to shred through this Ornn.
And now we got another play kind of brewing here. I think Keria has taken the correct path, though. And they're just going to get Chovy in position. But yeah, it's still a close game, and they really only get the Chemtech Drake and a bunch of kills. Obviously, you know, Gen.G do gain the lead from this, but it's not over at this point in time. So curious to see if they can deal with the Scion once the Caitlyn and the Anivia get some more items. As Canyon in a bit of a rough spot here, going to get hit by the horn, or the Ornn horn, as now the kick does go down, but doesn't really do a whole lot. Just kind of gets Keen out of position.
Yeah, Canyon able to disrupt that a lot with the ultimate, and there's not a ton of damage between Ona and Duran that take him out. That Wukong quite slippery. Also, Duro now has the Mikhails, went for the Echoes of Helia first, which has a lot of value in any skirmishes, but the Mikhails, I think, versus T1 composition is a ton of value. We also saw Faker go the Rod of Ages Seraphs, which it's completed now, and obviously both of them give... Oh, nearly got hit by the Mantra Q from Duro, flashes away from that one. But yeah, has a lot of value when you have those items completed, but quite a slow build for an Anivia, and he's been really struggling to make the same impact compared to Chovy so far. And this do have the upgraded IE come through for FaZe. And that's the thing, it's not a huge gold lead for Gen.G. The Dragon advantage is only 2-1, and it's a Chemtech Soul anyway. This game is anything but over right now. And even though T1 obviously did have that unsuccessful fight around Dragon, which must have frustrated them, there's still a lot of potential for them to find favor going forwards.
Yeah, I think especially as their two carries get a couple more items, they're going to be very threatening.
Yeah, I think
to the front line.
4 IM Caitlyn feels so much better than 2 IM Caitlyn, especially for cutting through this Scion.
Oh, a little bit of a play here on the FaZe. There's the stun, there's the root, and now he's in a lot of trouble. As down he will go very naturally. Chovy just saying, well, I've got Flash. And this time FaZe doesn't respond Flash away.
Yeah. I think wasn't able to react in time, and once the point-and-click CC is coming, there's not a ton you could do. Now they're moving on to the Baron, and they have a lot of bulk to tank this up, so pretty fine to take this slowly. T1 going to try and approach here. This is a great bowling alley for the Ornal to come through.
I mean, they're getting some vision on the objective. Looks like Gen.G just wants to turn, but T1 so far effectively are able to get away, but Keria not so much. And now they're on the wrong side of the fight. King gonna flash slow on the Doran, and the root is gonna catch Faker, and guess who's behind him? It's Canyon, who's got the angle. And it looks like Doran also not very long for this world, dealing with the rest of Gen.G. Faker gonna go down to the egg and eventually go down to a death here. And that is a nice turn from Gen.G in the extended play, as now maybe they just go back to the Baron.
I think they can. Ona tries to get a ward down to threaten a steal, but it's going to be so difficult to approach against his composition. We also have a control ward from Duro, so he can actually... He finds Ona. I was going to say he can put it in the pit and clear the vision, but he's actually just going to keep him occupied.
Yeah, take him for a little walk. Get him rooted up.
Yeah, no way he gets close now. Great disruption from Gen.G to keep the enemy jungler away. This feels more significant than the in terms of setting them up for the 2-0 than that previous fight. Now with the Baron in hand, 4,000 gold lead. You do see T1 setting up to take away this Dragon, but it's a small consolation prize in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, the Red Baron power play going to be pretty large at this point in time. You can see that Gen.G do not scramble to try to get over to the one Chemtech Drake when both teams only have 2 Drakes. And they have a nice little wave in top lane actually already. So this is the play on a FaZe.
Yeah, the flash Q, and then I feel like if he does flash, he's obviously further away, but he's still stunned. There's still the follow-up. Once the Q's been fired, you're in a bit of an unfortunate position. Here, though, great from Gen.G to go for this play, to disrupt. And Keen, the wall comes down, so he's like, okay, I can just ult freely now onto Keria. And the thing is, this whole time, there's the threat of the Jinnel. It's so difficult to escape when that can open up on you. Ruler gets that great root, though, and they don't even end up committing it. Canyon finding a phenomenal angle as well onto the Anivia. Just feels like as soon as they started the Baron, Gen.G knew what they wanted to do, and we're just waiting for T1 to push up and fall for the trap.
Yeah. T1 have the Caitlyn So they have the traps, but Gen G set the ultimate one on that Baron. And this push is coming in. Owner's going to find Canyon. Gets a nice kickoff as the binding will connect, but still, Canyon's just so difficult to lock down. As Faker on the flank here as Anivia. I mean, he's going to do a bit of damage, but I think eventually he just kind of dies.
Toby's waiting for him.
Yeah, he does have flash, but he's like, well, I'm just dead.
Yeah.
Not the best flank teleport I've ever seen.
Flanking Anivia, not something we typically see. And Keen is just so tanky.
And they really need Faker to be there to chip away at the front line if this is turning into like a front-to-back team fight. He can't be like trying to assassinate a Jhin on Anivia. That's an owner's job. As Gen G are sticking around for quite a long period of time as the ult comes in. Going to be blocked here by Doran, who just tries to flash away. But now the Jhin ult is out, doing a bit of damage. Just going to taxi them out of the jungle.
Yeah, not able to find any more kills there. But the pressure is still mounting. Jovi's going to get the spot lane turret. That mid lane turret's not long for the world either. I think Rula can just push up and let the minions basically kill it. Mikhail's comes through for carrier finally. I feel like the Mikhail's value for both teams is kind of insane. We end up seeing it here. So Canyon actually gets initially focused down here by Owner. They go for the kick play onto him into carrier's root. And then the Mikhail's comes in before the trap can set. It sets in the clone instead. Then Faker on the flank. I guess the thought process was if Canyon was dead and we're able to rush at the bot lane, it wouldn't feel as isolated here. But the flanking Anivia, I'm not really sold on.
Yeah. And maybe you get like some kind of crazy wall if you're going to do something like that, but then you're very much isolated. As, yeah, Carrion can't even break through the individual Scion shield.
I mean, this Scion just feels immortal. I don't think Faker or Pays really have the means of cutting through him right now. You know, there's no pen to come through from Faker. Pays does have the LDR, and eventually would be able to shred through him, but doesn't have a ton of attack speed. I feel like Killen's so much better at bursting squishy targets on the back of traps than shredding a Giga Tank.
And Faker's like a couple items, maybe 3 items away. If he like finishes an actualizer into...
I think if he gets Void Staff next.
Void Staff.
He wants setting a trap here though for Keen.
I mean, again, this is the Scion. We'll see if they can deal with it as eventually he should. As there he does go. Faker gonna pick up the kill streak there.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a limit to tankiness. If there's 5 members of the enemy team jumping on you, and with the Anivia as well, it's so hard to escape. They can kill you fairly quickly, but it's a pick that gives a little bit of a reprieve for T1, but not altogether too much. One thing is that they went for that pick. It was kind of rushed. They wanted to avoid the vision from Gen G. You can see towards the center of the map, a lot of wards lighting things up, so they want to avoid those. But the result is we have Dragon in a minute, and T1 don't really have much of any vision on towards the Dragon area.
So he's just waiting here.
Yeah.
He knows that owner is going to go for the Raptors.
So they kind of need to push in and contest vision. I feel like this T1 composition does better when they're set up in an area beforehand. But they just don't really have the means to do so. And Gen G are actually clearing out some of the vision they did get when they went for that play onto Keen. We see Carrier moving up and getting some wards towards Baron. Maybe they're just going to sacrifice the Dragon at this point. Wouldn't surprise me too much.
I think that's fine. I mean, a couple of Chemtech Drakes, though, definitely going to feel nice for the Scion, the Karma, even the Ant.
Maybe they just think we ain't killing that shield anyway, you know.
Well, if you're not going to kill the shield, you're not going to win the game. So, gotta figure something out here fast, Team 1. Maybe that Void Staff is the answer. Chovy very fast here, and he's just out of vision, too. So Owner's just like, well...
Yeah, I mean, he
Doran,
had flash as well, so that was what you were hoping to burn, I feel like, off that play. But a little bit unfortunate. You end up just not connecting, not burning the flash even. So T1 trying to look for angles in, trying to look for picks, but they are so far behind currently. Even with the ornaments coming in, it's a 6,000 gold deficit right now. Like Chovy with the 10-stack Medjais as well. With the the upgraded swiftness boots, where you get extra adaptive force from the movement speed you have. Feels like a really nice combo.
Yeah, he's going to be skipping his way, potentially, to a victory here. Do you feel like Chovy gets the POM if we end up seeing a Gen G win? Because, I mean, the Rumble mid, definitely a unique pick. Played excellently, followed all the rooms, and then now he's playing Annie.
I think, honestly...
Canyon had a good game, though.
I think the forefront ones are him and Canyon. I think both of them have really spectacular game 1s and game 2s. So I think they're in mind for the POM currently.
The game is not technically over yet.
Yeah, Team 1 going to try and stop that from happening.
Yeah.
Best they can.
Gen.G definitely in a commanding lead at this point. So we do have the LDR finished by Ruler.
Yeah, there's a big wave
gone
pushing
for
up
big
top.
damage.
Big wave pushed up top, and Chovy about to push that wave bot. So Gen.G have some time here where you want to deal with these side waves. Oh, they're looking.
Guess who's here? As Faker does have his flash. Kenny just going to get over the wall with his own. Faker going to try to buy some time and get away from this one. As Keen himself as well trying to get away from the rest of T1. As Arid's going to come in, the kick into the trap, and eventually Keen trying to flash his way out of this one, but he will not be able to. It's a trade of Keen for Faker at the end of the day.
I think in a lot of situations, trying to pick the Scion just wouldn't work, but they managed to lock him down in place and control him. You can see Gen.G threatening. Look at Chovy on the flank. Still has the Tibbers, by the way.
He's very separated from the squad. But he's so fast with flash that I just don't think he cares.
He is just skipping away, as you said. So, able to get out of that situation quite comfortably. And it ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade. Nothing too crazy coming from it. Flash being down on Faker feels pretty bad, though. We did see Canyon and Keen commit theirs. They're just going to start up the Baron. I think T1 have sniffed this out and will be moving over, but it's so dangerous to approach.
And Carry ulted it, so I think they saw it started up. Either way, going to try to get Owner in position here. TP is already coming in. And might just be a flip if they don't zone them away. No, they're just going to go for the turn as Chovy takes a ton of damage, actually, from Pays and from Faker, but some low health bars here on the side of T1. As not really able to land much with that Ornn ultimate. As in goes on, steals away the Baron! It might be the hero here for T1. He's able to get the objective. Pays trying to do a little bit more. As they do get Owner after the GA, as now the Jhin ult going to keep people around. But not for a very long period of time, and Duro also died. So T1 still in this game.
Great steal there from Owner. He goes down in the sacrifice, but they're able to actually get away. I was worried the Jhin ult could just be the end of T1 there with the low health bars. But they turn it around onto Karma. I think some of the things that went well here for T1 is Chovy's looking for an aggressive angle here, but actually walks into a trap and just gets chunked out. So the threat of the Annie kind of removed. Doran's ult unfortunately doesn't connect here onto Keen, but I think the wall from Anivia playing a big blocker to him getting on the back line. We see Owner goes in, does end up getting the steal. And then here, when the health bars are low, you're thinking, oh, prime opportunity for a Jhin ult here. But Duro flashes forward. Mantra Q doesn't get much success, and I think we just see Ruler kind of give up on the ult. Health bar's not low enough.
Okay, so better.
He's just saying, I got it, you guys have to back. And that's exactly what they did, eventually.
Both 80 carries very much online at this point, I think it's safe to say. 4 items from Pays, IE, upgraded IE, and LDR. It's a big goal lead for Gen.G, but I feel like this often happens where, you know, Caitlyn doesn't feel that impactful until suddenly she just hits like she's shooting bricks at your head.
Yeah. Especially in Karma's case.
Yeah.
As we saw.
I mean, Pays has a gold lead as well. The only one on T1 with that advantage.
Yeah. I mean, gold lead as a team here for Gen.G. I feel like the pick potential of Gen.G's comp has been working out really well. I feel like, especially with the mega engage cones with the Chemtech Soul, Chovy's been really utilizing that well, as there is going to be the wall into Keen. He is not enjoying himself very much anymore.
Yeah, this time T1 have control of the Dragon area. They got there first, and it's up to Gen.G to try and make their way in. A wall comes down. Maybe Keen goes for the ult now.
Stun going to hit Ruler, and Doran's doing a good job of just holding the door as the Drake is going to go down in favor of T1. Cannon trying to extend the play, is going to get the lease in.
Look at Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy on the flank here, and Cannon's going to get away. It's a 5v4 in favor of Gen.G at the moment. Root comes in on a Faker. There's the big slam. Chovy is still just waiting. Not going to go in. Doesn't have the Tibbers just yet. As now he comes in, was waiting for Canyon, trying to get on top of Pace, who is shooting those bricks, as you said. As eventually Doran's just gonna go down. T1 still on the run. As they look to try to maybe back into this situation, but not gonna be easy. As Pace gonna find himself face to face with Canyon and Chovy, and he gets the kill. Pace, the Fountain Laser, is just standing up to them. And they can't really just walk straight at Pace. He does too much damage.
The wall value so big here. T1 still trying to get away from this. Tibbers going to stop the recalls, and they go for it.
Get him, Tibbers. And actually, Tibbers is doing quite a lot. Chovy
coming out.
Eventually is going to get Keria, and there's the last shot from Ruler. As it was very fun, the escape from T1, but eventually it ends in tears.
Yeah, we see Pace getting a ton of value here. So first off, it's T1 with the control. Faker uses the wall, so Keen ults, but Doran is able to block it. Jill comes out, and unfortunately, Owen doesn't have GA, so this trade of lives of the jungler favors Gen G, and Chovy's just being so frustrating on this flank, but he slow plays it. He doesn't push in too aggressively, and he waits for Canyon to wrap all the way around here and get in position. Keen does die in the meantime, but now it just gets a lot more complicated when you're being attacked by both the jungle and mid. Pace, though, kiting away and doing so much damage consistently over the course of this. You can tell he's the person they're really respecting here, and they have to be wary of his damage. Canyon tries to go aggressive here and gets punished. But I think eventually, you know, on the wrong side of the map, no real way to get out. Ruler playing around the rapid fire. And I think Gen G were right to go patiently on this one, not rushing into it.
I mean, there is a world where if they go a little bit too fast, what happened to Canyon happens to the rest of them. But not meant to be.
Yeah, I think the rapid fire usage there from Ruler was pretty great. Waiting for opportunities to use that to punish.
Chovy has 22 stacks on his Magi's.
That's quite a lot.
We saw Tibbers was doing quite a lot of damage, and it was into luck, so I was like, okay. But seeing what he has in his inventory, I'm like, yeah, maybe he's just really fed.
He's just full build. He's very fed.
Yeah.
You know, Faker's got 3.5 items. Chovy's got the full 5. And one of them being a 22 stack Magi's, which is why, because it's cheaper, but definitely a lot of AP.
Ooh. Could have been a little scary if that binding actually hits Canyon. No more GA for him. GA back up for Owner. Just kind of waiting for this Baron to spawn. I mean, Gen G still have excellent map control, but T1 have been scrapping every single time and staying in this game.
30 seconds on that Baron, and there's just no real vision from T1 in the vicinity. It's going to be so difficult to push through and contest this. Again, I think even though it ended up with Gen G coming out ahead overall in that last play, the reason it felt so difficult at first, despite Gen G's big gold advantage, is because when T1 have control of an area, it is very hard to push in. But for a lot of this game, they haven't. And this is another example where they're not going to have control of the area. They have to push in. Gen G already have men on the Baron, and Paige just recalled for GA, so he's going to be so late. Yeah. I think they just have to give this up.
Just going to have to give it away. You see that Keria spots it, and they're like, well, what are we going to do about this? We don't have an AD carry at the moment.
It's hard to really fault Paige because GA is such a huge buy for these team fights, but it doesn't feel good that you just essentially gave over the Baron for free. Soul is in 45 seconds, though, and they're getting a bit of vision down here. You know, this Scuttle Crab's being cleared by Owner. They have some eyes on the area, not as much vision as you'd like. And as I said before, you really want to have control of the area first, but we've had big spikes come through. We've had the Crypt Bloom from Faker for some penetration. The GA, obviously, for Paze is a pretty massive buy. I think it's likely going to all come down to this fight. Once again, Owner trying to scout out the area. A short TP from Doran in to mid, but he will get that massive shield from it.
Yeah.
Which kind of matches the shield Keen gets every few seconds by pressing W.
Yeah, Sion is really, he's just built different, as we know. Trying to get some vision. This is something that the Lux is really good at doing, actually, but not able to find Canyon. Canyon going to find himself face-to-face with his death, potentially, but Doran taking a huge amount of damage from Ruler on the top side of this fight, as Doran has to flash away. There's the binding on Akeen, and all of a sudden, yeah, he's just going to flash out. And the flash response from Ruler is beautiful, able to get away from Owner, who really wanted to set that one up. Nice kick away here on Akeen, not able to lock down the jungler of T1, and now Keen, not very long for this world, and will be taken down. Meanwhile, though, this Dragon will go the way of Gen G as they pick up the Chemtech Soul.
Ult coming out from Ruler.
Able to do a bunch of damage already.
Oh!
Okay. That's a full build Jin.
They're still trying to collapse in. Faker has TP. They won these kills.
I don't think they... I mean, they're going to try. And just going to have to face check into a lot of lack of vision. I mean, there's a man advantage, yes.
The trap.
Carrion, no! Not like this. Not to just the trap. Gen G, this looks eerily like the last time when T1 were running away from them.
They have Baron recalls though, so they just really need a little bit of time out of vision to get away, but it looks like they're just able to run this one out. Oh, Chovy's looking.
Oh, here he is.
Won't find it. But now, actually, Embers have recalled. The carries are gone for T1.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Carry is like, well, I know that, yep. They're going to find Doran. I don't know if they get Owner, but
he got spotted, though, on the minion.
Yeah.
He's mobile enough with the Mega Cone. He should be able to get out, but...
He got a Scion ult. I mean, there's an angle for Keen if he gets into mid lane, but yeah, no, he's just going to...
T1 not synced with the recalls there. Obviously, Chovy came in and disrupted Owners, but... the man left behind. Multiple men left behind. Unfortunately, and Gen G get the soul and come out favorably in the play. These fights are feeling so tense right now, though.
Yeah, you can see even Keen is like, you know, he knows his limits, but if he ever gets caught in a rough spot and he doesn't have flash, he also kind of just dies.
Yeah, I mean, Canyon's playing this so well. He goes aggressive, gets punished, and just, I don't know how he keeps making it out alive.
Yeah.
So hard to deal with for T1. But I think sieging without the Baron, a little bit fruitless for Gen G.
Yep. The root comes down, and now Ruler, he's just gonna die! Gets caught by Faker in his own jungle. Faker's jungle, that is now the ult away here from Keen, and Gen G just trying to get away. Chovy just gonna drop a bear. There's no objective for T1 to take now, but they're going to look for the push in mid.
Yeah, so much back and forth in this game, but a phenomenal pick by Faker onto the enemy AD carry, onto Ruler. Ends up giving T1 the advantage they need to push up and start taking some structures. How far can they go? It's so difficult for Gen G to approach here into this Anivia, and with no AD carry, they have to buy 30 seconds.
And they're just trying to clear the wave. You can see that it's really up to Duro. Canning going to find himself face-to-face with Owner, just has a Blasco to get away. They're still kind of 1v1ing up there, by the way. This inhibitor is going to fall. It's very late in the game. T1, 14 seconds here on Ruler. As Duro keeps hitting these big Mantra Qs. Not always the difference maker, but if you give him enough time, can certainly do that as we have the trap set and an escape path for T1.
Okay, a lot of structures taken by T1, but they can't push into the Nexus towers. With Keen there as a blocker, they're able to clear the waves. Ruler getting punished here. This was just phenomenal by Faker. The control ward goes down to block the vision, then steps up to catch out Ruler. Cleanse does nothing when the Caitlyn is there just to put the headshots into you. And you know what? I think everyone was hoping for the series to go to a Game 3, but this Game 2 is delivered more than anything.
It's just really tense. I mean, we've had steals as well, or really just the main steal from Owner on that one Baron. Pretty critical stuff. And very much back and forth. You know, T1 have been behind in this game for the majority of it in terms of gold, but they have an Ornn, and it's very late game, and they have a Caitlyn, a Nivea comp. I mean, there's a lot of ways for them to win this one.
Headshot comes in, and it feels like anyone but Keen just winces as soon as they get hit. We have
just
Baron.
dies.
Oh, that, yeah. Baron at 15, Elder in a minute 45, and it may end up coming down to the Elder. I feel like for so much of this game, it was Gen G who had control of the map and were pushing out. Now T1, the ones moving around. They've spotted Canyon here.
Yeah, they know he's here. The entirety of T1 is making their way up, and now they have vision. The Cyclone going to deny for a little bit, but Canyon, he's going to try to flash, tries to get out with the Karma, and somehow this guy keeps on living. Chovy, ooh, that wall, pretty close.
Yeah,
Gotta force his flash.
Canyon just constantly able to survive these crazy scenarios where you're saying he's dead, but alive or not, he has to reset, and T1, I think the Baron is just theirs. So Gen G missing out on that objective. They're going to move towards the Elder area and try and get vision there. You have to think, Baron, not the end of the world, but we have to get control of Elder Dragon.
And it's difficult to keep your mid lane pushed out while also getting a good spread of vision on an objective like this.
I mean, look at the setup that T1 had into the enemy jungle. And then it was that blue trinket that spotted out Canyon, able to make the play. His flash now down, Owners as well. The junglers being without flash definitely makes it very delicate, given that they're going to be the focus, I feel, coming into this Elder fight. In most fights, the AD carry is the focus, but here, when one smite can just dictate the game, Canyon and Owner will be at the forefront. To level 20 on both these tanks, by the way.
Oh, he's just going to ult in as Chovy goes over the wall and nearly dies. Pays. Oh, he's going to flash on him, but Pays is still alive. Flashes on Chovy. Takes him down. Pays is taking names. And he's looking to win this game, but he's in the thick of it. But now Faker, he's there as well, carrying it up. As Ruler's on the left side of this fight, just doing a lot of damage as well. Canyon going to go down. But now it's all up to Ruler up against Faker, it looks like, in this fight. As Pays has fallen. And maybe Pays, you know, Pays did so much, but he also died very early on in this fight. As now T1, again, we're having this setup where they're behind enemy lines. Another binding's going to come down here. Duro just trying to keep them around, but it's not going to work out. We got a Jin and a TP. Trying to keep it in this one. As really, it's going to be up to Ruler. He's got to have good positioning. He doesn't have his summoners anymore. As TP comes in, Keen has a massive shield. I don't think that Owner and Carry alone can deal with the Scion.
If Owner dies, if he dies, it's Elder.
Yeah, we got a TP coming in. You can see that T1, they know about this as well. They're like, we got to fight for it right here, right now. Ruler not really able to get in vision.
Shield is ridiculous. The shield for the TP combined with his personal shield. Looks like the respawns are going to come in. Fake has to deal with this top wave.
Longest game of the LCK this year.
Does not surprise me. T1 Gen G often delivers. We're going to reset, but it's Ruler starting up the Elder. TP coming in from Doran to disrupt, and Owner's pretty close by, but Canyon is making his way over. Elder now going to be the focus point, but so many summoners were bid in that fight. In fact, only Faker has his flash available. And we saw GA's burnt as well.
Yeah, and that's a really important flash for him to have. You see Owner is down on the bottom side. Canyon maybe gonna find him. Both these junglers, as you mentioned, the keys of this one, as that wall is going to deny. Faker's been so good with his walls in this game. As now the jungler's looking to collapse. Canyon's got an angle on that backline. Pays in a bit of trouble, but the kick is there. But now the Elder in position for maybe the smite to go, and it goes to Owner again. As he's able to steal it, this guy will not be stopped. As Keen, nearly unkillable, but eventually he will fall to the Elder burn. As now the flash wall comes in. Chovy, though, looking to turn it on the Faker, but it's only the egg that he gets. And Pays still alive. They're looking to take him down, but they will not be successful. Ruler, still alive, still has a full health bar, and still looking for more. Pays has done 14k damage in the one fight. As T1 are looking to push mid.
They're pushing up, and we see Gen G's bot lane trying to move over and respond if Carrier finds them, but he won't. Oh, doesn't with the ultimate. If you stop those recalls, that could have just been game.
Yeah.
They're going to try and make the push happen. Pays now full HP because of the Bloodthirster, but Ruler and Duro are there. It's long timers on the respawns.
The kick is good! And T1 will be winning game number 2. Duro goes down, and in 50 minutes, T1 come back and bring us to game number 3. 90k damage.
90,000 damage from Pays. Yeah, I mean, this Caitlyn was massive. You kind of hit that point where you just do so much damage. The ornament boost as well. And even though he died in that last fight, he did so much, walked up so aggressively, set the rest of his team up for success.
앞으로 갈게.
카페 오케이. 난 막을게. 막았어. 타임 없어.
이거 강타선 많이 불리하거든?
이거 리셋 한번 해. 뭐 안 돼. 리셋. 이거 해.
와. 야, 밀어내고. 야,
나고.
아인양 너 혼자?
쓰마. 이거 장로.
오케이.
장로부터.
먹겠어 먹겠어.
좋아.
애니 노공.
위로.
애니 노공.
미칼 있어.
상대 다 노플이야.
천천히. 싸면.
여기.
네.
천천히 봐도 돼.
바로 앞라인.
상대 다 노플이야.
좋아. 나 딜가 안 나, 지금.
지금 애매해.
나리야.
좋아.
진 노스펠. 나
야, 이거 좀
미드로.
얘들아 기다려. 오오오.
싸워해.
나 코멘포라 애매.
천천히 해봐 천천히
애매해.
미드로 가면 돼 미드로
아, 미드로 가.
야 미드로 와
조금만 천천히 해봐.
나 이거 필요 없다, 이거.